The cleanup underway here in Steinhatchee, Florida, following Hurricane Helene. You can see some of the debris piled up behind me. All of this pushed ashore by the storm surge. This powerful and deadly hurricane battered the southeast.
This is still a very dangerous situation. Even though some of the storm surge is receding in Florida.
Boats on yards in front of homes, roofs torn off, trees toppled, vehicles crushed. Many Floridians are assessing Helene's punishing overnight blow while the threat moved north.
There's still so much that's happening across many states.
Potentially historic and devastating flood levels are washing across large parts of the southeast.
We're also trying to get to multiple structures right now that we know have individuals inside that we're unable to communicate with.
Georgia's governor confirming Friday afternoon that multiple people remain trapped in buildings. Water rescues in that state and others have essentially been nonstop since Helene's landfall. In North Carolina, forecasters predict Helene's impact to be one of the most significant weather events to happen in the modern era for the region. At least 2 storm-related fatalities have happened there. Around mountainous Asheville, already saturated from pre-Helene rains, there are other threats.
I am worried about potential building falling and collapses and landslides.
The river just keeps coming up. I don't know when it's supposed to crest today, but it's...
Trees are down on roads everywhere. Don't get out if you don't have to.
Good advice echoed by just about every emergency management official.
You need to exercise extreme caution.
And another example of just how powerful that storm surge was, you can see a dock that was pushed on shore. It's now been moved out of the roadway. It was blocking a road earlier today. Officials saying as they go through this cleanup process, they're asking people to stay off of the roads. They're asking those who evacuated to not return to this community until they're given the okay by officials. They say there's just too much debris and too many potential dangers that could potentially hurt people. Reporting in Steinhatchee, Florida, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Now, Northlanders are already stepping in to help hurricane victims via the Red Cross. Northern News Now's Isabella Zadra shows us how.
Dave Snetzinger from Monoma, Minnesota, has been volunteering with the Red Cross for nearly 30 years. Over that time, he's seen the aftermath of some of the nation's worst natural disasters firsthand, including when he volunteered in Houston after Hurricane Harvey.
Typically, it's a 12-hour day. For 14 days in a row. It's very rewarding, and I'd really encourage people to get interested and volunteer.
Minnesota and the Dakota Red Cross chapters are now doing similar deployments for Hurricane Helene. As of Friday morning, they have sent more than 30 people from our region to Florida. That includes Gina and Jeff Rickers of Mount Iron, who are driving to Florida as we speak.
When there's a storm that's of this size, you really need people to come in from outside of the impacted area to provide support.
Dan Williams is the executive director of the American Red Cross Northern and Central Minnesota branch. He says they have about 350 volunteers right now, some who stay local and others who can deploy. But he says they can always use more, especially when situations like Helene arise.
The great things about volunteering with the Red Cross is that you do what you can do. So there's lots of ways that people can make a difference as a Red Cross volunteer.
The Minnesota and Dakota Red Cross branches are set to deploy more people in the midst of Hurricane Helene soon. As for Snetzinger, he hopes to head out that way as well, giving back and helping those who need it most.
People that are going through the hurricane right now are having some of the worst times of their lives, and we just try to help.
In Duluth, Isabella Zadra, Northern News Now.
Thank you, Isabella. You can find information about how to volunteer with the Red Cross on our website, northernnewsnow.com. Meanwhile, our parent company, Gray Television, is teaming up with the Salvation Army for relief efforts. You can scan the QR code you see on your screen. You'll be taken to a donation page. 100% of donations are sent to help those in need. And Chief Meteorologist Adam Lorch has been tracking this